All right, so here we have our setup tonight to make a altered card. So thanks for joining the tutorial. As I said, this is TCG Mama, Jenna Flo, and I am going to share with you just my simple setup when I'm going to alter cards. So the first thing you want to make sure you have is a secured surface. So I just picked this up. It is a cabinet liner that I got it from the Dollar Tree. And so I love finding, cheap supplies that do really well. This will prevent you from getting any paint on your other surfaces, such as my playmat underneath here that I use often. So just, you can find anything that just creates another layered surface. This is also great because it's a bit of water resistance. So you are not going to wind up soaking through your mat. Super, super cool. Here is a very used palette. This is one that I've been using for altars, but you don't have to go out and buy this, even though you can pick up a few of these for a few bucks at the Dollar Tree as well. This is something you could use instead of paper plate. You also could use a plastic lid. So, it's just whatever is easiest for you. I like to do budget-friendly things. I'm a mom. I know that a lot of you have stuff like this already at your house, so that helps you not have to invest. You clearly have cards, so these are some of the cards that we're going to alter in this video. And then the one thing I will tell you to splurge on is paint. I will do another video on the different brands of paint and my positives and negatives for both of, sides of all the paints that are out there on the market. But I am a army painter girl. I always will be. I've been painting since I've been 5 years old, honestly. And I definitely will tell you that the past couple years of having army painter paints in my life have made my work and my job so much easier. So army painter is something that you can pick up at any TCG store that has models. So Warhammer figures that need to get painted, any of the historical figures, they'll sell these brands. They'll also sell brands like Vallejo, which tend to be on the higher end, and Citadel, which have a lot of combination painting steps on their app to paint specific figures like Warhammer characters. So a lot of people go for those. But in my opinion, for the cost and then the long-term use, Army Painter has been by far the best. And, they're middle of the market when it comes to cost. You can get them in sets and get, a good deal on them. And they stay good for a long time. I've had problems in the past with Citadel. The shape of the containers causes the paint to get too much air in there. And I've spilled them. Vallejo, I do love. It's just really not at the price point that I'm willing to commit to when it comes to, some of the painting that I'm doing. So one other thing that I do love about the paints that Army Painter makes is that there's a couple different lines they have. And one of the main lines that I am using all the time is going to be the speed paint. So your speed paint's going to have a ball in there. You can kind of squish it around and hear it. But these are going to tint and also give you kind of a feeling of depth, especially if you are a 3D painter and you do model building. You're probably familiar with some of these. It's a glaze effect, and it also works very much to create different types of lights and darks on your 2D projects as well. So I am a Warhammer painter. I have been painting for about 10 years or so when it comes to my models. And these have been so great because I can use them on my 3D as well as my 2D. Yet again, some limitations that I saw between Vallejo and Citadel. So these paints are by far my favorite. I'll also show you they've got some really good metallics in there that just really have this incredible sheen to them that does not go away when it dries. And that has been a problem with other brands that I've used in the past. So I love it. They have the coolest names. They've got great colors. Again, these are typically available in open lot, so you can just purchase them color by color. But I do want to emphasize the fact that the basic colors that you're going to need are going to be white, black, red, blue, and yellow. So if you remember back to elementary school when you were learning about the primary colors, we can just simply start with the basics, and we don't have to worry about buying every single color that's out there. Again, when it comes to the Citadel colors, they're constant about, oh, you need these 3 variations that are going to, blend into one another to make this ombre color. Oh, we can do that, and we're going to work on showing you how to do it as well too, so that way you're not, spending your whole paycheck trying to get some colors to work that you can mix yourself. So that's a little bit about my spiel with paint. I did want to show you a little bit of the other paints that I have hanging around the house. This is the Jacquard textile paint, which I love for when I'm painting things like Air Force Ones and jackets and different things that I've been commissioned to do. Those paints are textile paints, and they'll be too thick to use on your cards. So a little bit about the thickness. When you have altered cards and you decide to play with them at your local LGS, or if you're, working through playing at a tournament, make sure you always keep an original that has not been altered with you at all times. So that way, if an opponent says that they can't read it clearly, or they're just not comfortable with you having an altered card, you can swap it out. Or if they need to do the weighing test, which is a normal process. So before you would compete with altered cards, you'll have one of the judges do a blind test where they'll take 2 cards, one altered, one not, and then basically do a weighing test on them to see if they can tell the difference. So we always want to make sure the alters are there just for, our enjoyment, and not to try to get an edge in the game over someone else. So, that is part of why we have to use specific paints when we're doing altered cards. Again, I love lots of different brands of paint, Liquitex, all kinds of acrylic paints. I love craft paints. I'll go with the Apple Barrel any day for some of my larger projects, but the weight of the paint is just not going to be what you can use. These paints that are the ones for model painting that we use for altered cards, they have a little bit higher of a price point than just going to Walmart and getting some acrylics, but that's because the pigment ratio is higher, and you'll need that in order to not weigh your card down when you are altering them. So that's enough about supplies. Let's go ahead and talk about prepping cards.